Welcome! Let's talk about movies. Now, in this video, we're going to talk and ramble about Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So, spoilers everywhere. I'm gonna ramble all over the place about this movie since I was lucky enough to actually see this in the cinemas. Because normally I can't afford it, but I got treated to go to the movies for once, so I was quite happy. So hopefully you'll be gone by now because I'm gonna go into spoilery territory. Are you gone yet? Okay, so spoiler time. As someone who did not really grow up with Star Wars, however, I did watch episode 4 and a lot of the main points of the episodes 4 to 6, those movies, and then I also gave Phantom Menace a chance, and that bored my brain out. For Star Wars: The Force Awakening, I really enjoyed it. It was a good movie. I had fun watching it. I managed to not get spoiled at all, and that scene where Han Solo died was, it was like, wow. Like, it was a really well executed scene. I'm not gonna say that this movie is perfect, however, I think most people are feeling, hey, I'm glad this movie isn't terrible like episodes 1, 2, 3, those movies. Sorry, this background stuff, because I can't control it. I really enjoyed it. I think my favorite character is Finn, but then all the characters are wonderful. BB-8, when he did the thumbs up, that was what started the I can actually laugh now kind of moment. Because when I was in the cinemas, people were laughing and I joined in. It was great. And I enjoyed, Finn's reactions to things and his heavy breathing and how he's wanting to impress Rey a lot, and it's fun, it's amusing, and you relate to it. There's a lot of complaints apparently on the internet, as people do, that hey, Rey was too powerful, that Kylo Ren was too emo, all that kind of stuff, and that doesn't really matter. That's just silly criticism. Don't you know that Han Solo was also, or rather, Luke was also kind of overpowered, especially in the first movie ever in terms of chronological. Wait, yeah, like when Luke first, like got the call to, hey, you need to go and save the princess. That was, and how he has no training in terms of using the lightsaber or anything like that, or using or flying those fighter planes. He still manages to do it well. So it's like he's also overpowered too. But as someone else pointed out, Rey, yes, is certainly powerful, but then she grew up having to fend for herself and survive, and I mean, you can see that she's fighting off other people while she was being ganged up upon because they wanted to get their hands on BB-8, and she's capable of taking care of herself and all that. Though there are times where, wait a minute, how come she can fly the Millennium Falcon without actual training? But then hey, there's a lot of instances when Luke somehow was able to fly those planes with no actual training and experience. Anywho. They did for Rey. They did point out in the movie that how she doesn't even know, she hasn't flown the Millennium Falcon before, but she manages through with it. And when you witness her fly the Millennium Falcon, you notice that it's not really perfect flying. It's a lot of stumbling about, but then she seemed really confident as well. I'm confused. I've only watched the movie once. So I haven't really. I can't afford watching a movie several times. I can only afford. I mean, even watching the movie in itself, I was, treated to watching the movie. I can't afford watching movies, which is why it takes so long to get around to watching movies in general. But anywho, digressing. Um, what else? I personally did not know that Han Solo was going to die, but it was interesting to hear that Harrison Ford himself wanted to die a heroic death. I think during the Empire Strikes Back, or was it Return of the Jedi? That he wanted to die, like a heroic death then and there. Especially based on his interview. And he seems to be happy to be, related to Star Wars again because apparently he hates Star Wars and being associated with Star Wars in general. And now he's a bit more happier. I don't know. He finally got his death, I guess, and I'm happy for him, I guess. I didn't really relate to Han Solo when I watched A New Hope, because I was more interested in the droids. The comedy duo between the two. So yeah. Hmm. I really like how this movie was made. The action sequences make sense, and you know what's going on. Um, it's probably maybe a reboot of how people see the Force as well, because now in this movie it's like a fantasy thing, not rather than a politics or sci-fi thing, and I'm kind of glad that it's kind of like the plot of A New Hope, with a fantasy magical kind of air to it, more like to it, like once again, and I did not know that the bigger antagonist is Andy Serkis, the guy who plays as the Golem in Lord of the Rings series. So it's like, oh, okay. But at first, when you first see what he looks like, it's like, whoa, what is this creature? It's huge. Whoa, it's scary. And then you realize that he's, depending on Hux and Kylo Ren, essentially two kids to follow his commands. I say kids because in terms of the universe, they're quite young. They're not hundreds and hundreds of years old, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know too much about Star Wars lore, and I am not. I don't mind being corrected because I am ignorant about Star Wars lore. Yes. Anywho, I like how there's a lot of throwbacks to old things. But then probably most of it went over my head. Everything looks really cool and design wise it's amazing. I like how the first hour spent with the new characters and you actually spend time to get to know them as people. And then you start to grow to care about them. Especially the heavy breathing Finn. At the very beginning, the first shot was, the Star Destroyer, I think, eclipsing the moon. That was a wonderful shot. It's kind of like a parody, maybe, scene of the first shot of A New Hope. There is a bit some kind of confusion with how there's Finn and there's Rey. Are they is it both their stories combined that's going on? Because you at the beginning you were with Finn, and then you were with Rey, and then it kept switching between the two. So there's no really clear main character for the audience to follow. And but then again, they have the same mission in terms of Finn wanting to get away from the First Order as far away from the First Order as possible, while Rey really wants to, reunite with her family again. And it seems like the way towards that is to go forward and pursue Luke Skywalker. Though it's hinted that she might be Luke's descendant, who really knows? I only realized way later that it was Obi-Wan Kenobi's voice in her Force visions, as they call it. Maybe Rey is more of the main character at the end because she essentially takes over Han Solo's spot on the Millennium Falcon with Chewbacca, with Chewie. So, yeah. Well, and meanwhile, Finn is in a coma still because he got injured from that mega fight. And it's kind of more realistic in that he's injured heavily because he does not know how to use a lightsaber. He couldn't even fight against that weird electrical, huge, mega, awesome sword with that stormtrooper that said "traitor." That guy, he died thanks to was it Han or Chewie? Who knows? And how Finn actually prefers the blaster since that's what he's used to. I like that. I like how he doesn't know how to use a lightsaber, but he tries his best to save Rey, even though he doesn't know how to use it well. Oh, and I really like how, Finn and both Rey are celebrating when they, successfully killed off the baddies that were chasing them, and how they were celebrating how they were able to do all these awesome things with the Millennium Falcon before Han Solo came into the movie. I like that. They were celebrating like, oh, that was so cool, that was so awesome, and you get to celebrate with them as the audience because that was awesome. You're like, yeah, you're cheering for them, and yeah, there's at that point you feel like, yes, I connect and I enjoy and love these characters. And then at the start they start off with I forgot Poe. It's like, oh, who is this charming guy? And he gets locked up and you don't know what's gonna happen to him, and then you meet Finn. Yeah, now I remember. Gosh, it's been a while. Yeah, I like how Poe didn't die as well. I kind of thought he didn't die. Nah, he seems to have a lot of screen time. I don't think he's dead from sinking into the sand, as Finn thought. So I wasn't really surprised to see him back. Actually, I was like, there you are, Poe. And then how Finn was so happy to see him. Yeah, and then do you want your jacket back? Nope, you can keep it. I think you deserve it, and it looks good on you. I'm like, yeah. Some and how there's a lot of bromance found out on the internet right now between them two. Oh gosh, it's amusing though. I'm personally getting really tired from the fan art, like slowly, a little bit, because I don't know. Because the more fan art you see, the less surprising it is to you. I guess that's just an overall observation. That said, maybe I'm probably drawing fan art right now. Who knows? But I don't know. I like most of these characters. I don't know what to start with. Ugh. And there's so much fan art out there already because Star Wars is amazing. And I'm not surprised by that. Anyway, I'm digressing. And I think that there's plots being mixed here. And I like how at the opening crawl they talked about Luke because that's what most people remember, that Luke was a big part in Star Wars. And I was thinking, when does Mark Hamill, the guy who plays as Luke Skywalker, come into this? and and uh, and it's funny how the whole plot is about trying to find Luke. Yeah. Anywho, when Kyron took off his helmet, I was like, nerd. This is awesome. It's a nerd underneath. Wow. Um, mind you, he was able to freeze and use the force on moving laser beams and just keep talking and not even focus completely on that and then let it go whenever he wants. That's like crazy, apparently, and awesome, and something new that people haven't seen by force users. So, wow. And it's enlightening to see that force users aren't limited to Sith and Jedi's, which is interesting too. I don't really know. Is this a new thing? You tell me. I'm not really a Star Wars nerd, as I've said many times before. I feel like I'm just someone who's from the outside looking in, maybe, and enjoying it anyway. Yeah. What else? Yeah, I think Kylo Ren was awesome. um, and I really like emo Kylo Ren, that Twitter. Oh, it's awesome. Um, I'll look over it. And there's also Very Lonely Luke, that Twitter handle. Look it up if you're really into Star Wars. They're very very amusing. And how they play with how emo Kylo Ren is. Um, and then okay, I'm just saying when the mask came off, and how he's a nerd. How my first impression of him was like, he's a nerd. Oh, and then how he's, worshipping his grandpapa, or Darth Vader, essentially. He wants to be as cool as him. I want to be as cool as grandpapa, kind of thing. And what's interesting is that the light side is calling to him. It's not the dark side now, it's the light side, and he's trying to control that and trying to prove himself that, no, I can control the light side and say no to it, which is what leads up to him killing his own father, Han Solo. So this is all like family drama, actually. Let's see. I guess he wants to prove himself as the great hero and not a great warrior, but not a hero. And he wants to be as dark as possible, I guess, maybe. Does he want to be closer to being a machine? Maybe in the next movie we'll see him more machine than human, like Darth Vader was, like how Darth Vader was, like a lot of him was made up of machine. And there's a life support system and everything in it too, in his suit. And it's really interesting how he has a makeshift, gigantic, unstable lightsaber of his own that he made for himself. And it's amusing how he has a tantrum and how he destroys things, while like people working under him are like, oh no. And oh gosh, the part where the stormtroopers are like going to walk across the corridor, and then they hear Kylo Ren going rah, going angry, and they're like, nope, I'm getting out of here. They turn the other way. That was funny. What else? And it's interesting how Anakin Skywalker, he took ages to become Darth Vader, but Kylo Ren was like became dark within this one movie. I don't know about Snoke. I like how someone noted that all of the character names are one syllable, so that it's easy to pronounce by little kids. Like Snoke. Snoke doesn't really sound like a threatening name for a evil villain and horrible creature, but I don't know. It's like a Titan Snoke. And how everyone's saying that it's a Weasley, Hux is a Weasley, but then I don't know who he is. He's just a really stoic character, it seems, and I would like to know more about him. Some people are saying that Kylo Ren is a powerful man baby, maybe. But then I really like that scene where he was trying to force information out of Rey. That scene was really powerful, and she's just, oh, I don't know, I'll just do anything. I'm just gonna try using the Force and block him out of my mind, and that was like a very cool scene, and well acted. But then I was really confused with what was Kylo Ren trying to do? He's so overconfident and letting emotions get the better of him sometimes, I think. Which is, his character flaw, I guess, here. What else? Though, what's interesting is that, although he can threaten people with his Force powers, the fact that he didn't really fight well with a stormtrooper like Finn, a newbie stormtrooper like Finn, and he also lost to Rey, and she wasn't that great with, she hasn't had experience with the lightsaber either. So it's interesting that he lost against both of them. But then again, he was really injured from getting shot at by Chewie, so I don't know. And the fact that he was thumping at his wound and all this blood was coming out, it really like, hey, Kylo Ren is actually hurt. This is not at his full power. Maybe that's it. I have no idea. I'm just making up reasons. If I were to be objective about this movie, Kylo Ren, he really can't be Darth Vader version 2, because then everyone will keep comparing him to Darth Vader, and you can't really do that because you need to move on and let Darth Vader be Darth Vader and let Kylo Ren be Kylo Ren. So I appreciated that. Hey, it's kind of like how the new is wondering, how can I like live up to the old. It's kind of symbolizing that, I think. How Kylo Ren can't really live up to Darth Vader, or he feels he can't, and how then this reboot is feeling like, how can I live up to the old movies, episodes 4 to 6? Yeah. I mean, it's funny if I think about it, Finn doesn't even know it was the lightsaber was a weapon. He was like, how do I use this lightsaber magic? Oh, was that how it happened? I don't know. I need to watch the movie again, as I say. I enjoyed the jokes. And the comedic scenes. It was interesting that there was Simon Pegg in this movie, and that there's Daniel Craig as the mind controlled stormtrooper. I did not expect that. And I like how Han says, "That's not how the Force works," and I like how at the beginning it started off with, on a very serious note, how people are actually getting killed and stormtroopers are actually killing people and innocent people. Obviously BB-8 is terribly cute. And it seems like Chewie in this movie is the joke character in that whenever a joke happens, we cut the camera to Chewie's face and let Chewie do a reaction shot to the joke that happened. And then it's like the cue for the audience to laugh. That's what someone else noted, and I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. Maybe he's the punchline character. I have no idea. And I like how Chewie's reaction to how his partner Han Solo passed away. Oh, that part where they were going into the spa and they came in with BB-8. It was weird how they were walking with BB-8 and everyone else at the place recognized BB-8. So why didn't you leave BB-8 in the Millennium Falcon so that you all of you won't be recognized? And then with all these spies reporting to their respective places. Let the First Order know that there's the droid is here, and let the Resistance know that the droid is here. It's like, what? they didn't really think that through or something. I don't know. That was a little bit off. Uh, um, as much as I love Carrie Fisher in her recent interviews and how she's amazing, um, Leia was kind of awkward in that she didn't really feel like the same spunky princess character. She's just tired and she seems to be acting as herself. And sure, she's been managing armies for a long time. Um, she's, I don't know, as Leia here, she seems like a tired Leia. She seems to have lost her spark, kind of Leia, I guess. And I'm like, is that how she's meant to be? I don't remember. Anywho, and I liked how she also sensed that, you know, Han Solo's death. There's some people speculate that Han Solo isn't dead, but I think he is. And it's weird how R2D2 fell asleep and yet he had the rest of the map, and I'm like, what? All this for a USB for a tiny bit of the map where Luke Skywalker is? What? I mean, because R2D2 was so sad, he held up the whole plot, basically, because everyone else was chasing around for this map of where Luke Skywalker would be. Oh, as I think about it, when the movie started with Poe, he's such a cool guy and suave, and you feel how desperate he is because he's scrambling and running away and trying to not get caught by the First Order people when he was at the village at the beginning of the movie. This movie's really good. I enjoyed it. I'm happy that I watched it. Unlike what I did with Phantom Menace. Yeah, I still really enjoy how Rey and Finn geeked out when they did that amazing stuff at the Millennium Falcon. That's an awesome sequence. Oh, and like, as I said, it's really weird how Kylo Ren lost to Rey, who does not know how to fight with a lightsaber. But then you can see that because she's basically lunging, which is not how you use a lightsaber. She's basically lunging and waving the lightsaber about and running away, and she doesn't know what she's doing. She's just trying to, no, I don't want to die. And apparently in this world, here, like in this movie, it's set in a world where Jedis are gone for 60 years or something. And Jedis and the Force and all that, it's just all a legend now. And, I guess the movie's title, The Force Awakens, is basically talking about how the Force is awakening within Rey and within a lot of other people too, I guess. It's also in Kylo Ren because he's awakened to the dark side, I guess. Like, he can fully transition to his next part of training, as Snoke calls it. I guess you can say this is a new world of Star Wars and they're passing, the torches to the next generation. There's this new character that's kind of replacing Yoda's place. Was it Mars or I don't remember her name. And it's interesting how she's not a Jedi, but she knows about the Force. It's weird because when Rey was like, what is that noise with all the screaming kids? And it's like, does this lady keep a whole bunch of kids in a dark and deep basement dungeon? Is that what's happening? And it was weird. It was like, what? It's like, is the plot going somewhere else? There's a whole bunch of like kids down here, but it's just Force Vision calling Rey from Anakin's lightsaber. What else? It's weird how Rey, as I think about it, Rey was left at Jakku and left there for unspecified reasons, and I like how, Rey just explained her backstory by, hey, it's classified. Are you classified? Okay, good. We won't ask. That's it, and hopefully it won't be classified in the future movies. But I like how they didn't really dwell too much into it, so that there's still a sense of mystery behind who she is and her backstory. Maybe she is Luke's daughter, maybe not. Who knows? What else? Oh, it's funny how everyone's saying that Jakku is the trash place. And it's good to note that there's a clone army, and there's also an army of stormtroopers where they are conditioned from birth as well. So it's interesting to see that. I think babies who are conditioned to be soldiers as stormtroopers, which is what Finn is. It's interesting that they just killed off the Republic and bye politics. It's like goodbye. Episodes 1, 2, 3. That's what it seems like. And it's clear that their planet is essentially eating the sun to fire up and charge, and so that they can destroy other planets. Yeah, it's weird. Yes, there's diverse stormtroopers and TIE fighter pilots. And the Hux speech was amazing. It kind of parallels to armies like Hitler and all that, dictatorship and all that, and space Nazis. Basically, people are saying, but then it's really well done, I think. And how Hux is essentially yelling, and for some magical reason, everyone in his army could hear him because there's a lot of people there. Is Phasma, the lady stormtrooper who was ordered to put the shield down for Han and Finn and co to escape. She seems like she might have more to play later on. I think it's pretty cool. Though Finn was a bit childish when he was like, "Take that!" Like he got all he got all arrogant and insulting at Phasma at one point, and Han Solo actually had to tell him to tone it down. And I'm like, yeah, tone it down, silly Finn. Yes, I am all over the place. What else would I like to talk about? People, I don't know, upon what I've read, people are saying that Kylo Ren is kind of pathetic and despicable and evil and not confident. And yeah, that is, I kind of agree, which is why he's endearing in that way, in that, just trying so hard. Trying so hard to be evil. Maybe he will turn into a more evil thing because he probably will have developed it by the next movie. At the end, I wish they ended. A lot of people agree with me. I wish they ended at the part where Rey and Chewie, like when they were taking off to explore the unknown, they stopped at the movie there, but they had to have that weird awkward end with putting Luke or Mark Hamill in, just so that they can have that weird helicopter shot, which was also unnecessary. Where she just hands over the lightsaber quietly without saying anything, and he just stares at her. It's like, that scene was unnecessary from a story standpoint. I know that they just wanted to, show that, hey, Mark Hamill is in this movie, and that's it. But then I felt that in terms of a movie, it doesn't work. It felt like it didn't feel that great as a standalone movie. It felt like, oh, this is a unfinished story in which you have to watch the next movie to actually get the message. So it felt unsatisfying in that respect, I think. That they could have just stopped it when she was taking off to the new adventure. It's like, yeah, let's do this, and let's begin the next chapter, and then end it then and there, and not have them show Ray actually finding Luke, and then oh, now what? And then that's the cliffhanger. Oh no. I don't know. I thought that it wasn't that well done. I think it felt like the movie was dragging on. It's like they're trying to work really hard in dangling that. Oh, we found Luke now. This is the carrot. Hello. Now watch the next movie. Kind of thing. It's like because I think as someone pointed out that at the time when the original episodes 4 to 6 movies were made, they were great as standalone movies because they did not know if they were able to make the next one. So they had to make the most of the movie they're working on now and make it work as a standalone movie as well, which is what I think The Force Awakens is lacking, in that it didn't really end effectively as a standalone movie. It felt like, oh, now I have to commit myself to finish the rest of the movies because on a contractual basis they are guaranteed to keep making the rest of the movies. So that's why this movie doesn't work as a standalone movie. Unfortunately, I think that is the trend with movies nowadays in general. Unfortunately, not because I'm not blaming anything or anyone, but I think that's the trend nowadays, which is unfortunate. I'm just saying, now that I've started watching, I have to commit and watch through the whole thing to get the overall story, rather than enjoy each movie for what they are, as their own encompassing story that links with each other. If that makes sense. Wow, what a ramble. Anywho, I think there's a good balance of caring about the characters and moving the plot onwards. There's a lot of potential for The Force Awakens to get better, but it did feel like Star Wars. I feel like so this is Star Wars. I feel good about this movie, and it delivered a coherent story, and I enjoyed it. Maybe people would argue that this is a New Hope version too. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, but I think that's why I can ramble about this movie. So people, I mean, I've done a lot of reading, and this is what made me think about this movie more. So I'll just quickly skim through all the opinions I've read across, through forum threads and YouTube comments and ideas scattered everywhere. I don't have time to actually credit people, but just know that these ideas do not belong to me. But I did find them interesting, and I find that they do make good points. So, there's a lot of Darth Vader worshipping, and it's a 30-year-old man-ish child who throws temper tantrums. That's Kylo Ren. A lot of people are questioning how he fits all that hair under the helmet. That he doesn't even need that weird voice changer thing to make himself sound cool. He's just a kid trying to walk a path he's not suited for, but he's trying anyway. Apparently people noticed that Rey was wearing grey like Luke did in Empire Strikes Back. So is Rey going towards the dark side? Who knows? Like Luke did? And that person noticed that when Kylo took off his helmet, he left it on the bridge, and then the Starkiller blew up. So that's probably why he doesn't have his helmet anymore. So I'm like, oh, okay. Because I was wondering what happened to his helmet. His very cool helmet. What else? guess I don't know. People are saying that people are generally just happy this is not boring, uh and they people didn't like the prequel, so this is why everyone loves this movie, and not because it's a good movie, a good standalone movie. And maybe there's some truth to that, but what do I know? And this person also talked about Snoke, uh, the one who kidnaps babies to turn into minor soldiers. He turned an entire planet into a weapon. He lured Ren to the dark side so that he can use his force powers for his own needs. And he near wiped out all of the Jedi. And the thing is, oh yeah, it's called a voice modulator. How, I don't know, this person's going on to talk about how Ren wants to be Vader, but he could never be. Because look at his appearance, look at his tantrums, look at his unstable makeshift saber. He is a cheap copy because he's written as so, and unhinged, and he seems to be someone who could kill the main characters, and it's a mix of, can you take him seriously or not? I don't know. Is he a man-child? Is he really going into a dark side? Is he a poser? Is he actually talented? Is he actually emotionally busted? He seems really incredibly talented with the Force, however. And I think with all of these flaws, that's what makes him an interesting Star Wars villain, because this has not happened before. Like, such a character. It seems like Han having such a son it makes sense, because Han, I don't know, is he really a responsible guy? He doesn't impress me as a responsible, like, guy you can depend on. It's weird. Because he's not perfect. And the fact that, Kylo was able to kill his own father was another level, because Vader did not do that to Luke. He was only able to chop off Luke's hand, and that's it. Anywho, apparently, in The Force Awakens, Han Solo lost everything. This person says, including the Millennium Falcon. Han's been losing his relationship with Leia, and as well, and also his relationship with his son. And then in The Force Awakens, he's trying to fix that. And then he ultimately gets betrayed and dies and loses his life. Because he's trying to fix everything, but it didn't work out. So, he's not a perfect father at all, and he gets killed off by his son, and Kylo Ren, is more horrible, arguably, than Vader in that regard, in that he was able to kill someone really, or supposedly, close to him. Makes me wonder what kind of childhood Kylo Ren had. Or whether Han, really was, how he was actually as a father. This made me wonder. Now, on the other side, I think Tony, the guy behind Every Frame a Painting, please check that YouTube channel out. That's a really cool channel. He was saying that this movie isn't that great, in that it's a movie that's trying to fix the issue that Han should have died at Return of the Jedi, where he should be sacrificing himself to save his friends, because for the actual character himself, because in A New Hope he was only caring about himself, but it'll be a good part to his story if he dies then and there for a good cause, and change into a better person by sacrificing himself, rather than caring about himself only. So even Harrison Ford thought that at the time. Apparently in 1983. Wow, that's really quite a long while ago. Oh wow, 20 plus years ago. Wow, that's don't we all feel old now? Um, so he was saying that the Force Awakens has spent too much time on trying to, build up to the story up to the point where Han finally dies, and that he finally gets that death that, hey, I'm dying for a good cause, and that's that, because it's so weird that I thought it was kind of odd too that Han Solo went back to his old ways and just left Leia alone, since Kylo Ren just left them and all that, and it's like, what's happening there? What kind of family drama did I miss, kind of thing. And on the other hand, there's the other plot where Rey, Finn, and Poe Dameron, search for Luke Skywalker. And somehow the new people have to help Han Solo, Leia, and Resistance attack the Starkiller base. For some reason. So it's, what was the reason again? Because they are fighting for the. Oh yeah, because Rey got caught. I forgot. Yeah, Rey got caught up into it, and for some reason they have to go along with it, and somehow they're supporting the Resistance now. I don't know. Is it well done? I didn't really think too much deep into it. But Tony was saying that it's kind of like Han Solo, Leia, and Resistance versus the First Order, the weapon, Kylo Ren, Snoke, and General Hux, basically. And somehow Rey, Finn, and Poe Dameron are like part of all this. Well, they're looking for Luke, who they're trying to get back to help them for the Resistance. So, I mean, Poe is there because, hey, I want to, save the galaxy. Finn is there because he's trying to get away from the First Order, like, early on in the movie, and then later on in the movie, he says, that's it, I'm fighting back against the First Order. But then during the middle, he's like, no, I need to save my girlfriend. No, my love interest. No, my good friend. No, oh, I really like her. But then I'm trying so hard to impress her. Rey. So yeah, Finn is. I enjoy Finn because he's continuously growing and developing as a character, which is I find really endearing and cool. Rey, she is learning, trying to find out, what's going on, and finding her own family, and as much as she doesn't want to, she has to leave the past behind and move forward to actually find the answers she actually needs, rather than get stuck at Jakku. So she becomes a more confident. Then again, she's already confident. I don't know. She becomes, it's kind of like a self-discovery kind of, hey, what can I do and how can I help, find answers and solve problems. So she's kind of a cool, adventurous character, though. Still her backstory is still classified, so who knows? For sure, if she's really Luke Skywalker's daughter. Anyway. All this rambling aside, I kind of rambled almost 50 minutes now about Star Wars 7. Because a lot of people, I've come across so much discussion about this movie. About, this is a New Hope version 2 reboot. But all the same, I enjoyed this movie. I'm so glad I watched it. Hopefully you enjoyed it too. Maybe you can, educate me and discuss below in the comments what you thought of it and what you got out of it, and whether you agree with all different opinions I mentioned in this video. But thank you so much for watching. Star Wars The Force Awakens is awesome, and hope you have a wonderful day and week and year. See you next time. Thank you and bye bye. The Hermit Burp says bye bye.